and 3.
All right, I'm Kirk Lucas. I'm here at the Washington Golf Center, and we're going to talk about wedges today. Now, these are the most versatile clubs in your bag. They only allow us to carry 14 at a time. With our wedges, what we're looking for is we're looking for that Leatherman's tool. We're looking for that club to be able to do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different tasks when we ask it. Well, now we start to discuss, all right, what do we need in our bag? Well, what's happened today in automobiles is, you know, you'd love to drive a Porsche, but it didn't have any room for the kids in the groceries, so they made it into an SUV. So it's a hybrid between a sports car and a minivan or a truck, and now we have what are called SUVs, and they allow us to do a lot. They go fast, they handle well, they can carry a lot of people, they can get the kids around, they can take care of your groceries, all that type of stuff. Well, that's what we want our wedges to do. We want them to go high. We want them to go low. We want them to spin. We want them to roll. We want them to get out of soft sand. We want them to get out of firm sand. We want them to be able to go specific distances. We want them to be reliable. We want them to be able to get us out of long bluegrass up here in the mid-Atlantic or that Bermuda grass in Florida. We want them to work off of hard pan. We want them to work when the conditions are soft. We want to have versatility in our wedges. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Versatility in two ways. One is the bounce on the club, and the second is the loft on the club. So if you're thinking about wedges, don't just get a wedge that fills out your set. So now we've lost our versatility. The club's great for hitting it from the fairway, but the closer we get to the green and the more unique the situation is, the more difficult it is for a club that just matches our set to perform. Well, what we want is we want what the tour players have. We want to be able to change the bounce on it. We want to have certain lofts on them, and we want to be able to use the grooves to our advantage. So what we've got is we've got a bunch of different wedges here. So think about your pitching wedge. Let's say it's 47 degrees, 48 degrees. A good rule of thumb is if you want to carry 2 sand wedges, try to have 5 degrees between your pitching wedge or sand wedge or lob wedge. So if your pitching wedge is 48, maybe a 53-degree sand wedge and a 58-degree lob wedge. So now you've got even distribution throughout the wedges, and that will help you when it comes to hitting full shots from the fairway. Now, what I'm looking for is I want a little bit wider sole in my lob wedge. So you can see the sole here is a bit wider in my lob wedge than it is in my sand wedge. Now, I also want a little difference in bounce. I want my sand wedge to have more bounce, and I want my lob wedge to have less bounce. So with a wider sole, that helps us allow this club to perform off of tight lies, and it allows us to perform out of the bunker or the long rough with a little bit of loft, or a little bit of, bounce. So the less bounce, the wider sole, that helps us. What we're also looking for is we need some curvature to the front here. So if you look at the leading edge here, it's arced. If you start to see a wedge that's too straight there, that's going to take your versatility away. So I can take this wedge and I can stand close to it very upright to hit a short little shot, and this rounded leading edge is going to allow me to strike it in the center of the face. Or I can open the blade, move further away from it to hit a very high shot, and that rounded leading edge is going to allow me to hit it in the center of the face. So this really helps you when it comes to versatility. The next thing we'll talk about with our lob wedge is what kind of grooves do we want? Do we want that ball to stop quicker? Now, it's a blessing and it's a curse. From the fairway, the harder I swing, the more ball speed I create, the more spin. When the ball hits the turf on the green, it's apt to come back. Now, can I get used to flying the ball all the way up to the pin and bringing it back from the fairway? It's an adjustment, but the advantage is around the greens. These grooves act like radial tires. Radial tires disperse the water on the road, get more rubber on the road, hence better traction. These grooves, they disperse the grass out of the rough so that the ball and the club face meet, creating more spin. So around the greens, you're going to find this ball stops much quicker. You're going to find that it's going to start flying a little bit lower when you first get them, but the ball has a lot of spin in it checks. Out of the bunkers, the ball will spin more and stop quicker for you. So I highly recommend these new tour grooves, zip grooves, manufactured grooves, sharp grooves, whatever you want to call them, in your lob wedge. Now, when we go to my sand wedge here, this is a very versatile club. This one happens to have 54 degrees, and the lob wedge here is 60. Well, what I'm looking for out of this is I want it to be able to perform out of different lies and different types of turf. So if you're not sure which club to hit around the green, make a couple practice swings with each one and find which one hits that turf and that similar lie better. And one of them will perform better. That's why we've got different degrees of bounce. That's why we have different widths of the sole. So we have that versatility. And by using different lofts, different bounces, and different sole widths, you're going to find the versatility you need for all the shots that you're going to face.